Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here, continuing through with Hearts of Iron 4, Black Ice. Of course, we're playing as French here with the French Folies, and this episode, unlike the previous one, will be an actual gameplay episode. Yes, Coupe du Monde, the World Cup, 1938 FIFA World Cup. This, which the world cares most about, and America not only, doesn't dislike it, just doesn't even know it exists, almost literally. We could have won it and no one would have noticed or cared in America. You won the World Cup of what? Racing? Of hockey? It wouldn't matter to them. You know, I know there's soccer players and whatever, but if for some reason we happen to have a good team, it wouldn't have mattered to America. World Cup of football is held in France, the 18th successive match captivates the planet, and nope, that is wrong. Again, this is wrong. It doesn't captivate the planet. It captivates all of the planet except America. So America is part of the planet, but it doesn't care. And obviously I'm sort of making a joke out of it, but it's quite true. We really don't care. And this is one thing that and obviously this isn't racist because this is focused at everybody, including Europeans who've moved here. I was at the barber shop the other day, and they were talking about something about football, or the World Cup, or something about this. I just overheard them, the barber and customer, and the barber. I've had the barber for many years, but he speaks with a bit of a Latin accent, and whatever. And the customer was, I think, of Mexican descent. And it can sort of tell you if you're truly enculturated into America or not. And these two gentlemen, they probably were mostly done that, but they still are not fully there because they still cared about the World Cup. So, like, if you come here and I'm an American, and I'm an American, American's great, and I watch football, and meaning, American football where you throw the ball around, or, baseball and all this stuff. But if you still care about American Cup, you're only partly American. You got to completely get rid of World Cup. What? You got to completely not care to be truly, fully American. That's just a thing in America. You just, to the point, and you know what? If you were to ask them, all the Americans, about it, they wouldn't know because they don't know or care about football or, the World Cup. Oh, their daughter plays it, as kids, and they run around and kick the ball. Yeah. It's a thing for children to do a bit, but we don't care. And 376,000 spectators are in the French stadiums. 34 countries fought relentlessly, but it was Italy who ultimately wins the final against Hungary. The Mediterranean country is for the second time the world champion. The Brazilian Leonardo da Silva, known as the Black Diamond, is, however, the best striker, whatever that is. They hit people in that? I don't think so. Of the tournament, and I'm not joking, I don't know what a striker is. I don't even have a clue. It's not a kicker. That would be a kicker. Not a goalie. I don't know what it is. Do they trip people or something? In the tournament with his personal technique of the bicycle kick. Well, maybe the kick. Well, is that kicking people? I don't know. Okay. See, don't know what that is. And I'm being very literal about it. I don't know bicycle kick. Trying to picture what a bicycle kick is. I don't know what it'd be. That I'm truly not joking about whatsoever. Yeah, let's do this. In a long game, those are definitely, you should do it because it helps all the other research. In a short game, because again, I don't know if we're going to play past 41, because if we've held out all the way through 41 against an active German attack, I'll consider that a win here. In a short game, I don't know if it helps. No. Again, somebody can do the math. to know.
Bougez-vous.
So, although it's sort of doubled through here, we have the secondary infantry line that will hopefully eventually, some of it, get develop Algeria. Great. Which gives us 4 more military factories. Technology sharing. 10% technology share bonus from French research. Okay. Shared oil, tungsten mines, develop into China. At like 70 days, probably like we were talking about a while ago, would probably be worth it. Intervention. Yeah, we're gonna go that. Might as well do that early rather than later. So Morocco 5%. Yeah, okay. Maybe it's just they get bonuses. I'm not sure. Okay, so we now have a few more, 4 more, but one was already sort of pre-assigned. Again, let me jump over because I could just be like, yeah, I want more fighters or something, and there's a bunch of things I want, but I'm sort of kind of trying to look. That's slowly coming down there a bit. Things like this is what keeps me from training troops, because training units uses up equipment, and so if I had lots of extra, I just, you know, I want to have my teams fully with MGs and fully with infantry equipment and that kind of thing, or trucks. So that just sort of, if it was using supplies, it'd be a different matter because it'd just be different. Okay, HQ radios. We're not building any, and we need some. We sort of knew that was coming. So let's come over here. HQ radios. We want to get everybody with radios. We're not going to do the French thing of not having enough radios. And we want to have proper motorization if we're going to have motorized units. So, and we do have motorized units. Mountain warfare. Well, we can swap that up to newer better. That we can do. These, well, let's look at, see, I just wanted to get enough artillery. Okay, so now we have a cushion of artillery of either whatever types here. So let's get these swapped over for these, I think, because those are the heavier ones. These, yeah, we lose half there. Are we up on uniforms yet? We have enough uniforms for everybody. Oh yeah, we got only now just 3,000 extra uniforms. So now we're going to. Before I'm happy with. Just want everyone to have a uniform, and they're most efficient cranking those out. Sometimes, of course, not with those, but they actually use more resources that aren't used in the earlier ones. We need some tungsten, and we need some more rubber. Okay, well, we'll see about that. Okay, well, let's look at trading tungsten. Rubber. Oil. From the United States. Big oil coming in from there. Yeah, it's probably worth it. We get 16 for one. Obviously we don't need all that much, but by coming here we get 16 for one. We get it because there are colonies or whatever. We get a better deal. Of course, it'd be a better deal if we actually could use the addition. Well, thinking those are fighters. Yeah, it tells you how much I know about French air models. Hope they got somebody who knew French stuff to. Heard of some of the names. Potez, heard of that. Not really saying I've heard of much of these others. Research time. Well, no, we don't need the Navy right away. Tank designers. Citroën. Well, we have tanks that, you know, do the sort of gangster thing, go up and down. We get them. A friend of mine had sort of collected Citrons. Renault. Okay, armor, a heart attack, additional. I'm just not even knowing if I'm going to research anymore. Okay, we're going to do this now because we can't do this now. So we'll do this and at least increase our research time, and we can swap to something else later. Now we have a bunch of these units here. And they have infantry tanks. Use, okay, the FTs and the R35s. Or those are the better models if we have them. We should see about adding some motorized infantry, but I need more motorization. Yugoslavia claims Bulgaria. Powder keg never disappoints. That was happening in the Japanese playthrough too. Must be something in their national focus tree. Grand Assault. Okay, now. And we went down this battle plan, I'm pretty sure, for Japan, and we went down this route for 9 attacks, but I think we're going to go down this route for France. That looks much more the French model. Since the French model works so well, we're going to follow it. Yes, I know you got that. These are almost a decent things. Division almost. Tour de France. Yeah. Belgium, or Italy wins first, Belgium second, France third, but where's Lance Armstrong? Yeah, I know, I keep making that joke. I know it's not funny. Popular Front collapses. Okay, after 2 years of major activity, the Popular Front lost its spirit and could only temporize as the European crisis grew worse and worse. Workers did gain major new rights, but their 48% increase in wages was offset by a 46% rise in prices. Unemployment remains high. Overall industrial production was stagnant. Popular Front dissolved itself in autumn 1938, confronted by internal dissensions related to the Spanish Civil War, opposition of the right wing, and protestations or persistent effects of the Great Depression. Okay. Yeah, this is something that a lot of people don't understand about minimum wages. And when I say that, either they do understand and they just think they're going to win in the effects of minimum wages, or they just don't understand. If, like, I pay pretty high rent in California. not going to say exactly how much it is, but it's a lot. And I think I could be, if I move to, well, one of the people recently suggested, move to Tennessee. If I move to Tennessee, I think if what I'm paying in rent, I could probably be making monthly payments, and I live in an apartment, not a pretty good sized apartment in a very good part of the neighborhood, actually very good part of the neighborhood. And I don't know if you know how LA works, but there's like really, really nice areas, and which is sort of where I'm in actually. And then there's nice areas, and then there's not so nice areas, and then there's worse areas. But you can have really nice areas that have just sort of one intermediate area, then go to sort of baddish areas. You know, you don't just sort of way it's sort of broken up oddly and with major streets and things like this. And so it can just happen. But you could probably have it in a fairly nice area in Tennessee. I could probably be making payments, you know, ownership payments on a rather nice, good-sized 4-bedroom home for what I'm paying for my apartment. You know, so the cost of living for me in California versus what it is in Tennessee is greatly different. And it isn't going to just change because wages change. A lot of it's because the demand for housing in California is very high, or it has been. Now, if I were to move to maybe Sacramento or Stockton, is like going out of business. It's a city that's just going to hell. The city has, you know, if you work for the city for like 15 years, you're going to retire. Or maybe it's 20 years, you're going to retire on full pension, meaning you get a pension equal to your salary for the rest of your life. And it's all, you know, the you know, vote for me, I'll give you good pensions for the city. So they voted this stuff up, but of course they're going bankrupt. And some of the courts aren't letting them default on the payments. So the city is putting all of its money into paying people that no longer work for it. It can't afford other things. And because of California regulations, all the industry, and regulations, you might go, oh, well, we want a clean environment. Yeah, I want a clean environment too, but they're over-regulating. And, you have very high taxes for businesses and people in the state. So, I have a, you know, small business that employs 50 people that makes, I don't know, pillows, zoning it, or that guy My Pillow guy on television, 50 people, has a factory, makes pillows here. Oh, you mean I get to make a lot more if I move it to almost any other state? No, not New Jersey or New York, but move it to almost any other state. In some states, there'll be no private, personal state income tax. You'll pay the federal. And the business taxes are a lot less. They move their factory out. Even if the health and safety regulations are the same in other states, you can save a lot of money by moving that 50-person job out of California. And this is what has been happening, has been fleeing. Businesses over the years have just been fleeing California in droves, and they're continuing to do so. So you can get some areas that are getting pretty depressed now in California. But just cost of living does in some ways vary by region, and it isn't forced up or down by wages. Some elements of the cost of living, meaning if you lower the wages, it doesn't mean that my rent's going to go down. But if you lower the wages in other parts of the country, your rent can go down, or if you raise it, goes up. So by raising minimum wages, what that does is that every step along the way, let's say your breakfast cereal box. Well, if the farmer has to pay higher minimum wages, if the processing company who gets the wheat and collects it from the farmer and processes it and ships it. And then those that grind the wheat up into, flakes, or if it's corn, for corn flakes, or whatever it may be, go through that process, and they make all the people working. If all those people get increased, each step of the way get increased a little bit more wages. And then once you have the product, shipping it, putting it on the store shelves, the person who does the maintenance at the store, if a light goes out, some, hire contractor comes in, all the cost of living will go up. If you do a minimum wage, every time you increase the minimum wage, all of the cost of living goes up. Now, those of you who've watched the channel long enough know I'm not a, strict dogmatic on any one thing. I believe in a minimum wage. I think a minimum wage is a good thing. But just the idea that, 15, because they're really a big push now for $15 an hour in America. And I think eventually they're going to get it, but the idea, it's not going to benefit them because they're going to get more money in their pocket, but the cereal's going to cost more. The milk's going to cost more. The gasoline's going to cost more. Everything is going to cost more in proportionate to it. Now, again, I just said everything gets wrong. Obviously, I said and some things are just property values or whatever will be more. Or some remote towns, gasoline will be more because it costs more to ship it to some remote town or whatever. And there's always a few things that aren't going to be based on overall wage levels. But just by everybody moving up and moving all this stuff up, it doesn't help. Having a minimum wage is good because you sort of set a minimum standard. And I actually think there should be 2 or 3 minimum wages. I think there should be an under 20 minimum wage. Yeah. So you know what? You can pay the let's just say you have a minimum wage of $5 an hour, but you can pay the neighborhood kid $3 an hour to mow your yard and do some yard work, and he could have a business, and it could actually be him employing some other neighborhood kids. So it's actually sort of have a business. So he's employing under that, or it could be some old dude who owns a bunch of lawn mowers and whatever else, and hires the kids. But the kid isn't, and you're working him for less than you would work an adult. Yeah, because kids need to work, but you need to get them out and work and not just play on their devices. I'm not against playing on the devices, but they need to get out and work. But it's the idea, the kid isn't expected to be, say, taking care of a family. Oh, but then it's taking away a job from somebody who's going to take care of his family. Well, the idea is it's cheaper labor. And where I live in California, I would say about 90% of the gardeners are underpaid, under the minimum wage, because they're illegal aliens. Because they can't hire somebody legally, or enough people hire legally. And they have a business license, but I think, I don't know all the scams, but I think they may underreport the number of staff and things like that, or underreport the number of hours the staff works or whatever it is. But, so to have people under the age of 20 or the age of 22, you can hire them at less than minimum wage. Now, you still have child labor laws. I don't want to, out there, a 7-year-old that's, out, being forced to work. But you still, have the ability to have the youth work more, as well as retired people be able to be paid less. So that way that once they get, and this wouldn't conflict with any sort of pensions or other retirement pay or Social Security, this would allow them to have a full or part-time job to have more money than their pensions or retirement pay would be. And, an easy sort of job, and a job that, a business could go, yeah, I can't hire somebody at $15 an hour or at $10 an hour or whatever the price is, but I can hire somebody at $5 an hour. Yeah, we're paying the gross, the standard guy, $10 an hour, but we're paying this retired guy $5 an hour, and he works part time and he comes in and does some work, and he has a job and he makes some extra money. He gets out of his home, or it could be a woman, of course, and has another job. And they're, doing something that's sort of light work, light labor for a few hours a day, but to be able to legally set that up. So minimum wages, I'm not against. It's just the idea that we raise minimum wages it's going to raise other prices. Now, I don't know the exact situation in France, and to say what it should be at any given time historically, that's another question. It would take some looking at. And yeah, there will be people that have 4 children and an elderly parent to take care of, and just can't do it on the minimum wage. Yeah, but there's also single people that would be able to live just fine on that minimum wage. And so, there's hard things out there, and it doesn't always come out good. And I'm not saying, there's nothing perfect. And so you got to balance it out. So some of these things are very correct. So yes, so we replace disjointed government with reforms failed. Okay, let's see. Disjointed government, negative or plus political power costs and national unity down to 15%. So we're losing the national unity push down. But more political cost, it looks. No, actually less political cost. So it's now here, failed reforms. I guess same icon, different thing. Okay, well, different political. Oh, well. That doesn't look like what was advertised. Maybe I'm missing something there, but okay, let's again be scientific about this. Look at our needs instead of just what I sort of would like more of. I don't even got enough infantry equipment that we're building more than we need, but I want to expand my army. Let's just do that. More rifles. More rifles. More MOS 36s. More 5.7 rifles. 5.7 millimeter. And the Lebel is, or the Lebel rifle is 8 millimeters, and the machine guns, the traditional Lebel machine guns, are 8 millimeter machine guns. So we have 2 calibers. That's useful. That's helpful. To who? Well, mostly the enemy, but it's helpful. Basic fighter factory is good. That will help our. We're getting close to the idea of actually building some of the factories to more efficiently build. Okay, we're in 38. Okay, still nothing here we want to do. We'll start seeing about building some of the supplemental factories. Improved infantry equipment. That will help the units. That's a submachine gun. What's I think the MAT was the MAT 49. That's a post-war submachine gun. That's one that sort of the magazine folded under. Was the really it should be the symbol used over here instead of the grease gun. Well. Better heavy machine guns. Technology sharing. Okay, not sure if that'll benefit us as much as I was hoping. Sahara oil. Well, right now we have. Let's do synthetic refineries. We have enough oil. Oh no, we don't. We're importing oil, aren't we, from the U.S.? That would be helpful. We have it because we're importing, but September 39. We still don't have enough to really start doing our Expand Air Bases Modernization Program by American Bombers. Unless those go 56 days. Nice, but I'm just not going to do enough naval stuff. But I think we'll do the 56 days, just get that, some air power going. Air improvements down there. Okay, Munich Conference. German demands for Sudeten region of Czechoslovakia, where a significant number of ethnic Germans live. They have blah, 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 blah. We all know this. We all know this. Okay, leave the Czechs to their fate. British be damned. France supports its friends. Okay. They have no intention of going to war. War over faraway country. Should we follow their lead? Okay. I was willing and I was serious about it. And if you still notice, there is no west wall here. And there are no German units in the demilitarized zone. So we won that off, and not as a bluff. I was going to fight. I don't know whether it would have ended the series quickly, or we would have, if we lost, would have gone back. But the situation was different. Germany's building up, I know, so they're weaker now than they will be. But they've already captured Austria, and they're outflank the Czechs. And I really, well, I'm just thinking of something here. Do we do this? Do we do this? See, if we push now, this is the reason I wouldn't do this, is because of this flank here being not defended. You can see no defenses there, but we got defenses here. Some defenses here we can see down here. Because that's why you got a little bit there, but this is why Czechoslovakia is going to lose, in my opinion. But I was thinking, well, we're not going to be able to push into them, but hey, we've got the Sudeten, or the Rhineland to push into. Let's see if we're not going to be French Folies. Okay, political power minus 200. Gains condemned aggression, German Reich. Czechoslovakia events, Munich Conference. Gains support, opinion plus 5 French. Munich Conference. Gains conquer fortress, war against Czechoslovakia. Munich leaves. France leaves allies. Creation faction, France alliance. That rule. Can create faction, gain base national unity plus 5%. Well, don't know if it'll come, but let's save this. Hopefully right now with the event up. Only thing I'm a little disappointed is I don't have my mobile force ready to strike.
Bougez-vous. Bougez-vous. Attention. Aux ordres.
But they also don't have the
Bougez-vous. Attention.
Oh no, we want to use this. Get up here quick.
Bougez-vous. Aux ordres.
They don't have
Bougez-vous.
the Italians ready to move. They're not in the Axis yet, I don't believe, so they're not going to have that.
Bougez-vous. Parlez. Bougez-vous. Écoutez.
I've just sort of been waiting on. I didn't think there was a need to get these people up there.
Écoutez.
Yeah, if we're gonna go, we gotta go well. With these semi-modal motorized units.
Bougez-vous.
They're not going to be coming around through Belgium right now. Okay, so let's go with this. Sudeten crisis. German demands for the Sudeten border territory in Czechoslovakia, which is home of a considerable German minority, has intensified recently. A summit held in Munich, Germany, France, really sought to find a diplomatic solution to the so-called Sudeten crisis. A rift formed between France and Britain, with Britain accepting the German claims as reasonable, while France was not. The French have formed a new alliance with the Czechs and threatened Germany with war should the troops violate the Czech border. Free world is depending upon us. Okay, so there's a justification of war goals against us or our allies. Hungary is justifying against us. We are not yet at war with Germany, are we? No. Okay, so this is a different thing. Well, Czechs, defend your capital, please. This is just. I get the idea of better defend. If you defend everything, you defend nothing. But, and I guess they're really right now looking that, Hungary for some reason is looking like the biggest baddie. So obviously, if it's a war with Hungary, this is, if it's only a war with Hungary, I'm satisfied with this as an AI response. I'll make another save here. Because you're defending along the border, you got reasonable defenses along the river, you got a little bit heavier, at least in some places, defense other places. You got your couple sort of important victory point provinces back here. Yeah, but if you're going to be fighting against the Germans, you know. And if we look at sort of resource map, which will show us, there's a little bit of tungsten here, but actually more of your resources, and I guess we don't really, you can do a little bit better. You can see most of their industry, you can see it there in gray, is, and there's even quite a bit right up there, but you come down here, yeah, okay, you got some, a little bit, none. This little border section, well, a little bit, but most of your industry is up over here, so this is where you need to be. Looks like they've sort of maxed out a lot because they're converting stuff and not just making more. But, you know, yeah, okay. I don't know, so we are, and we have, okay, so we are coming up. Okay, I'm gonna click him. June, they sort of really like as offensive doctrine. They don't, and I don't know why. Specifically, they don't like de Gaulle as well. Same sets of traits, but I'm going to pick de Gaulle, though. Just because he wrote the book. Maybe that's why they don't like him, because they read his book. I haven't read his book.
Attention.
I just have never come across an English copy of it, and I don't know if I would have read it even if I had come across an English copy
Gardez
of
vos
it.
rangs.
But he's our mobile commander.
Aux ordres. Aux ordres.
Ready for a thrust into here. And I wouldn't have done it, I wouldn't have sort of guaranteed and set up this alliance with them if I was facing a west wall. I don't know what the German AI is going to do.
Gardez vos rangs.
There's still a possibility that Italy could do something here. Just because we're looking at attack from so many places there. Okay, first I wasn't going to do this because I was worried about not having Maginot Line all the way out there, because that's my sort of goal. I don't know if I'll get that. That's the goal as soon as I can. Now, okay, world tension still at just 14. Stop. Japanese Navy. Yeah, okay, disperse fighting. Just all this movement is just border movement. Okay. They're not yet at war. Good. See about researching something else. I sort of mainly wanted to get to like fighter detection and some of these other good air superiority. Fighter agility. That's really good. Now, obviously, just because we do this in a game isn't necessarily meaning how good it would be, or how it would have worked out. You know, this is how it would, saying this isn't equal to saying this is how it would have worked out had they gone to war. We should probably see about doing that, but let's. Okay. Oh, we're still at negative. Okay. Well, we're gonna wait on the Air Force improvements. See if we can get some more ground improvements. I've just sort of been thinking of as the Air Force as just sort of a minimum thing, and okay. So we haven't gone to war yet, but they're considering it. We're all sort of considering it. I don't know why Hungary is justifying against us. They're actually going to go to the German Reich declares war on Czechoslovakia. Okay, so we're at war. Okay, so let's save this right here. Okay, well, this is where we're going to end the episode. At this exciting cliffhanging moment, we can come back and try, if this doesn't work out well, or even if it does work out well, we can see about coming back and trying a more conventional French pattern for the war. This may not be so French Follies anymore. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. I really do appreciate that. And of course, please post your questions, comments, suggestions, ideas. Love hearing from you. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.